Man, I've been jamming to that tune. I dig that Big Show. I like it a lot. But it's not about this right now. It's about you guys. Shout out to the chat. Smash the like on your way in here and welcome to week 17, the good, the bad, and the money, where we talk 20 plus NFL props in less than 30 minutes. And of course, this show is sponsored by Prize Picks. So if you haven't, go over to the App Store, search Prize Picks, and use promo code Pub Sports, and you will get a match deposit on your first deposit up to $100 with a one-time rollover. No gimmicks, just win, and it's your money. Simple as that. This show, I take you through 12 great spots, starting with quarterbacks and finishing with the guys who catch the ball. Then we hit into the whiz kid himself, Billy Briz, and we finished with the biggest show on YouTube's play of the day. So grab your notebooks and let's get to beating these lines. At the moment, Prize Picks is being really cautious with these props. And what I mean by that is they're not getting all the guys I would like to talk about or even their fantasy scores at that. So there are times where we're going to get yards. So just bear with me as we navigate you through this week 17. And the first quarterback on the list that we have to navigate through is a guy that I did a giant write up on, and then halfway through got more concussion problems. So Colt McCoy was a guy I was going to look at, but it's pointless to even talk about Colt McCoy right now because guess what? He's not starting. And you would think Trace McSorley's going to start, right? No, you can't even go look at what McSorley did like I was going to do. Because why? David Blau. Who? Yeah, the gunslinger himself, the old lion. The only time I think I've ever seen the guy play was on Thanksgiving. So maybe look at Hopkins because this guy will look to chuck it. But other than that, like I said, I did a giant write up on Colt McCoy, and he is not going to play now. So let's talk about a quarterback in Los Angeles. And no, I'm not speaking Justin Herbert. I'm talking Baker Mayfield, and I want his pass yards over 196 and a half. And no, I'm not going to be the one to tell you Baker is a good quarterback because he's not. McVay is a great coach and was able to make Jared Goff look like an all-pro and seems to be doing the same with Baker. The Chargers defense is 26th versus the rush and 9th versus the pass. And since Baker has joined the Rams, he is 2-1 to this over, with the one loss coming in frigid temperatures in Green Bay. I do expect this game to be close and the Rams to pound Akers as much as they can, and which that opens up the play action for Baker, who's completing over 69% of his passes since being a Ram. And like I said, this goes back to trusting McVay, not Baker, and I trust the whiz kid himself, Sean McNasty, aka Sean McVay. Now let's talk a guy who still has a chance at making the playoffs when at the beginning of the year, they were nothing but a pigsty to say the least. But we got to talk Aaron Rodgers pass yards over 230 and a half. And man, oh man, does the Viking defense have a problem. 19th versus the rush and 32nd versus the pass. There are only 32 fucking teams. So you can't get any worse, but that's where we step in with Ron. And Rodgers is 2-1 to the over the last 10 weeks when playing a bottom 10 pass defense. But when playing a straight bottom 5 defense in total yards allowed, he shattered this number, putting up 291 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the Vikings are 31st in the league in total yards allowed. In a must-win spot for Green Bay and the Vikings already clinching and having the league worst pass D, I've got to get in on some Rodgers in a spot where they should be able to run the ball, and that means it opens up the passing lanes for Aaron Rodgers. Now we got to talk about the game of the week, and it's the Monday Night Football. And man, oh man, do we have a banger of a game. And I'm going to go look at Josh Allen's pass yards over 240 and a half. And Allen gets a good matchup versus a Bengals defense who's 7th versus the rush and 21st versus the pass. 21st versus the pass. Could anybody name me the Bengals star cornerback? How about Eli fucking Apple, okay? Yeah, I'm not worried about no Eli Apple. And Josh Allen has faced 8 bottom 10 pass defenses this year, or bottom half, not even bottom 10, bottom 15 pass defenses this year. And he's 7-1 to this number, averaging 321 yards a game. This to me is a smash spot for me whether you want to add in his rush and his pass yards, but either which way, get in on some Josh Allen versus these Bengals. And the Bills don't want to run the ball anyway, so you could take that top 7 freaking rush D and pound it in your neck. Now, let's talk some running backs, and why not one we seem to talk about every week. And before I say that guy's name, if you haven't, do me a favor and smash the damn like button. It helps the algorithms. Let us know what you're on as well, guys. And let's get to the damn money. And let's talk Brian Robinson's rush yards over 65 and a half. And I know Carson Wentz is making the start for the Commanders, but I don't expect Rivera to go from the game script they have been going with. And that's pound the rock as much as possible. And they get a good matchup this week versus the Browns defense that is 8th versus the pass, 25th versus the rush. And we get a guy seeing an average of 19 rush attempts a game over his last 6 weeks, going 4-2 to the over in that span. I expect nothing but the same from this team, and that's what I'm already on. And I'm on this guy's rush yards over, and I will be on his attempts as well as a straight prop bet. Now we're going to talk two guys from the same game, and that's the Bears and Lions game. And first one up is going to be David Montgomery's fantasy score over 13. And man, oh man, does Montgomery have a nice matchup versus this Lions defense, who's 28th versus the rush and 30th versus the pass, and dead last in points allowed. Mr. Montgomery is 4-1 to the over fantasy points the last 5 weeks, averaging 16.34 fantasy points a game, while in that span only seeing one bottom 5 defense like these Lions, and he just put up 20.7 fantasy points that day. Too much value, even though Khalil Herbert is back and will take away some of those touches that Montgomery has been seeing. Now, this may be the value play of the day. And we're getting value because this man hasn't seen the end zone in 3 weeks after seeing the end zone 14 times in the 13 weeks prior. And I'm taking me some Jamal Williams fantasy score over 7.5. And I know Swift is looking more like Swift, but Williams is still the goal line back on this team and has himself a great matchup with the Bears defense, which is 30th versus the rush, 9th versus the pass, while being 31st in points allowed. All this adds up to is a Jamal Williams touchdown, and he smacks this as soon as he walks into the end zone on Sunday, plain and simple. Now, I've been making some good money off this man the last few weeks, including a plus 500 for most rush yards on Christmas Day. And I'm talking Cam Akers, and I want his rush yards over 68.5. And this is where I want his fantasy score over or his rushing receiving, but Prize Picks does not have that available yet. Since Baker has taken over his QB as the Rams, Akers is averaging 15 rush attempts, 81 rush yards, 2 catches, 18 receiving yards, and 1.3 touchdowns a game for a nice 16.1 fantasy points a game. And now gets a matchup versus the Chargers defense, 26 versus the rush and 9th versus the pass. I would want his Russian receiving or his fantasy, like I said, because I do expect a close game and anywhere from 15 to 20 rush attempts, 3 targets, and another touchdown for the Cam man. Now we're going to get into the guys catching the ball, where last week we went a cool little 3-1, but we go right back to what's been getting us paid. And you know what's been getting us paid? The like button. So if you haven't already, do me a favor, smash it as we talk about this Chiefs secondary and how we're going to take Jerry Jeudy's receiving yards over 62.5 versus the Chiefs defense, 8th versus the rush, 20th versus the pass, but it's plain and simple. Number 1 wide receivers cash, and they cash with ease versus the Chiefs' 20th ranked pass D and 32nd ranked D in takeaways. I'm not going to read you all the stats like last week, but yeah, every number 1 wide receiver has cashed to the over this year versus this team, and I'm not stopping now. Jeudy has 6 straight games to the over 62.5 receiving yards, including a game 8 for 73 versus these Chiefs a few weeks back. Get in and eat, and take a look at Sutton as well. He was not in the lineup the last time these guys played, and this all leads into a Russell Wilson's pass yards over in a disgusting ass type of way. But yeah, get in on some Jeudy and thank me later. Now this one, lines up with one of the quarterbacks I'm already looking at. And we got to talk Allen Lazard's receiving yards over 47.5. And I don't hate if you want to look at his fantasy score when Prize Picks does offer it. But Lazard has a matchup versus the Vikings defense, who is dead last in pass yards allowed and 28th in points allowed, in a spot where the Vikings may even sit some players because they're playing for nothing. But at the end of the day, the Packers are playing for everything still. So I expect him to do what him has been doing, and let's talk about it. Watson still has not practiced for these Packers, and we've got to take a look at Lazard, who's gone up versus 3 bottom 5 pass defenses this year, and he's 3-0 to the over, seeing no less than 10 targets a game in those spots, averaging 68 yards a game. And the one game versus a bottom 5 defense in total yards allowed, like this team right here is, just went 4 for 87. So the fact that when the Packers can run the ball, they still look for some Lazard. So give me some Lazard over 47.5. I expect it to jump up by at least 10 when they do knock out that Watson is not playing. He averages 20 yards more than what they're offering in a spot that he's hit in 100% versus these type of numbers. Sign me up for some Lazard, please and thank you. Now we talk Sunday night, and we get an old school AFC North divisional battle between the Steelers and the Ravens. And I'm going to jump on some Deontay Johnson's receiving yards over 50.5. And we know one thing about the Ravens. You're not running the ball versus this team, who is ranked 3rd versus the rush. The way you can get to them, though, is through the air, and they're 23rd in the league versus the pass. So Johnson is 4-0 to the over the last 4 weeks. We'll see no less than 7 targets a game with upwards of 11, including a game versus these Ravens 3 weeks ago where he went 6 for 82. And that game, Mitch the Bitch was quarterback. So whether you want some Johnson or Pickens receiving yards over, you've got to get in while the getting is good versus this Ravens pass D. And I expect both of them to cash, but give me the guy that sees the most targets, please and thank you. The last spot I'm going to talk about is that Monday night game. And they're not offering me Boyd, and that's where I really want to attack this Bills defense, who runs a 2 safety high defense and wants you to throw everything underneath. And to me, that's a Boyd spot. But he's not available on Prize Picks. Like I said earlier, they're being cucks with a lot of props. So I'm going to go to the other side of the ball and look at Devin Singletary's receiving yards over 10.5. And the Bengals defense is 7th versus the rush and 21st versus the pass. And we know the Bills don't like to run the ball anyways. So give me a guy who's been targeted in every game this year with a low number, who over the last 2 weeks has 5 catches for 47 yards. No matter how the game script goes, he hits this even if we have to wait for the 2-minute drill. He will get his action and cash. So get in on some Devin Singletary's receiving yards over, which is hit at 60% on the year. If you like what you're hearing, smash the like button. If you love what you're hearing, go smash the retweet on my Twitter page. But let's get into why you guys are really here. And that's to pick the Whiz Kid's mind. So let's bring on Billy Briz and get to the money. Billy, my guy, last night was good, but it's about this weekend. How you doing and how was the holidays?
Holidays were good, man. Can't complain, man. Ready to get back to work, man. Some bit of normalcy here. Nice to have these NFL slates without grinding out UFC cards in between.
Yeah, I mean, we get UFC back next week or another week.
3 more weeks.
Nicole Chingalo, man, that sucks, man.
14th.
Jesus, that's too far. But yeah, I know you've got 4 looks for us. We're gonna talk about 2 of them, and I know you put it in a different order, bro. But we're not gonna hop skip games. You've got 2 people in the same game, Panthers and Bucks, where the division is on the line, and the Bucks are a 3-point home favorite, and the total is set at 40.5. So instead of hop skipping and jumping, let's talk about your 2 looks while we both can.
Yeah, first look that we're going to look at is Sam Darnold over 187.5 passing yards. this might be the first and last time you ever see me tout Sam Darnold, but he's been playing good, man. He's led the Panthers to a 3-1 record these last 4 weeks, and Darnold slung it for 225 passing yards or more in back-to-back games. The only concern here would be the run-heavy scheme that the Panthers usually have, but it's been working for them. But if it does not work out for them, I think it will come with Sam Darnold's more pass attempts leading to more yards. And the chemistry towards his number one wide receiver has been DJ Moore. As we lead into the second play here, DJ Moore over 56.5 receiving yards. Moore has posted 3 straight games of 73 or more receiving yards and a touchdown. Tampa hasn't been as bad of a pass defense as they were last year, but Carlton Davis and Jamal Dean in their secondary are on the injury report. It'll be interesting to see if they'll play or be limited snaps. Regardless of the fact, I think it would make it an even better matchup for DJ Moore. But I think he goes over 56.5 receiving yards. I feel like that should be at least up 10 more yards. I would line that at 67.5 towards 70.5. But I think the books are undervaluing my guy, Sam Darnold, here.
I played both of those spots last week and cashed them with ease. And I also played me some Moore's fantasy score because they don't adjust him for the touchdown. And they've been looking for that guy in the end zone. So definitely love both spots. And Moore's been the guy over there.
Yeah, we just want more yards.
No more yards. Ha, 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 ha. Well, the next spot up is a spot I've already looked at and bet myself. And it's the Broncos and Chiefs game where the Chiefs are a 12.5-point home favorite. And the total is set at 45. Tell them what you're looking at.
I'm looking at Jerry Jeudy over 62.5 receiving yards. This number's too low considering I feel like it's as low because Cortland Sutton's back in the lineup. Sutton hasn't had over 100 yards since week 2 and his only touchdown in week 4. While Jeudy has increased his yardage total in each of the last 4 weeks since returning from injury, the Chiefs have been acceptable number one wide receivers. And with the recent Wilson chemistry with Jeudy, I think the Chiefs secondary is going to get fried. They've been surrendering nearly 30 points per game. So I think if there's an over game for the Broncos, one's got to come through here, and if it does, hopefully it's from Jeudy.
Like I said, bro, earlier, Jerry Jeudy should smash. He's hit this over, I believe, in 6 straight games. We've been running over wide receivers like it's the thing to do versus the Chiefs, and they cash with ease. Last week was Metcalf. Cash. Go back through every damn fucking number one, bro. If they've got a legit number one, they've eaten and cashed. All the way back to week 1. They're dead last in takeaways. Billy said they're 30th in points. Oh, God, bro.
Yeah,
they're allowing
they
30
allow
points.
30 points.
They're allowing 30 points a game right now, and they can't take the ball away, bro.
It was Russ's best game, too, right? Versus Kansas City last time, right?
That's why I said he's going to cash it in a disgusting way, bro. It's going to be a Russell Wilson pass. I thought you were going to be on that again this week, actually.
I was on that, and that's the one time I was on Russell Wilson the whole shit.
Thought you were going to do it, bro. Hey, you've got me looking at Russell Wilson versus bad pass defenses, bro. Like, it's crazy to say, but it cashes, bro. It's disgustingly cashes. But at the end of the day, bro, we got to talk about your last spot in the Monday Night Football. And it may be in the game of the year, or what at least has the ability to be. And that's the Bills and Bengals, where the Bills are a 1.5-point road favorite, and the total is set at 49.5. Tell them how you're getting in.
Yeah, this has been a prop that we played a couple of weeks ago, but it's been kind of hard playing props on Buffalo Bills games because of the weather concerns and stuff like that. And I'm not a fucking meteorologist, dude. I'm not checking the fucking weather report. I'm not that guy. I mean, I skimmed through my little Siri weather reports, but as I digress a little bit, this is a good spot for Josh Allen. This is going to be a good offensive game environment. And we always emphasize on good offensive game environments. Lead towards the randomest part that you want to be on the side of. If you just have a bunch of props in a good game, shit's probably going to hit, man. And I think Josh Allen over 46.5 rushing yards. Bills have the highest projected total on this week's slate. So I want to attack this team somehow, and Josh Allen's rushing yards are the way.
Once I seen you pop in the rush yards for your plays, I was like, man, I really want the rush and pass yards now. So I am gonna hook the rush and pass yards up. That either which way, I expect a 400 yard day coming from him. Either, it's like It's a giant game. This is the 1 seed for them here. This is if you win, you get the 1 seed for the Bills. If the Bengals win and the Chiefs win, then the Chiefs are the 1 seed, bro. So this is fucking a huge game. So much
I think people
implications.
don't understand that they changed the playoff structure last year and only one team gets a bye. So the emphasis on that one team getting a bye is so big.
That's why my teaser was like automatic money to me this weekend. And off the topic teaser, took the Cowboys to win by -2.5 before the line all moved. I did a 10-point teaser. Took the Chiefs to win by 2. The Chiefs have never lost to the Broncos with Mahomes. And if they win, they're still in line for the 1 seed. So it's not like the Chiefs are taking the day off here. And then the Niners just have to beat Stidham. I am a little worried about the Niners because I don't think they're playing for nothing.
What? Out of all those games, and you worried about Jared sitting them?
No, hey, why am I worried about Stidham? Where did he come from?
The trash can.
The trash can of New England. He came with Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels wanted him to come with him. He's going to run his offense the way he wants to run it, bro. You don't bring somebody with you, bro, unless you have plans. And that's my theory on that, bro. Is I'm a little worried about it, bro. Like, this is the guy he wanted.
System game.
Yes, bro. And that's all they need, bro. So I know we got to rush this up, bro. Always a pleasure speaking football with you, my guy. Tell these people where they can find you and what you have going on Pub Sports.
Yeah, man. Shouts to my guy, Slaughter. Happy birthday. You can follow me over on Twitter at Getting Bills, over on Instagram, Billy Briz DFS. And to the Pub Sports Radio chat members, let's bring in a new year by cashing some nice fat tickets before the season's over here. 2023 is on the horizon, and so should you.
Happy birthday, Mr. President. Huh? Oh, not the sexy happy birthday, Slaughter, my guy. But we're going to hit a quick commercial and come back with the biggest show on YouTube's play of the day. Hedge your balls, guys, not your bets. Go on over to Manscaped. Use promo code PubSports. Get 15% off your order and get the Lawnmower 4.0, guys. It's the 2022, now almost 2023 campaign. Nobody likes a hairy bush, guys. So you want more attention? Take care of your damn self. You make her take care of herself? Double standards, fellas. So go use promo code PubSports and do yourself a favor. Trust me, your lady will thank you. What's good, Big Show? Glad to see you back from last week. The weather has been crazy as fuck out here in California. God forbid where you live in Michigan. How you holding up?
Man, Michigan's got to be the most bipolar state in the world for weather. It's the only state I really legitimately think you can go ice fishing on Monday and golfing on Thursday. It's 54 degrees outside right now. We just got out of Snowmageddon where
you had no power.
We had no power, fucking 9 inches of snow, all kinds of crazy shit.
It's like raining off and on out here in California.
We got flood warnings.
We're raining in California. It's 40 degrees at nighttime. I don't know where I'm at. I think I'm in the North Pole, but yeah, let's get into why these people are here. And that's for another winner. And the spot you're looking at this week is in that Monday Night Football game we've been talking about, where the number 1 seed in the AFC is on the line for the Bills and the Bengals. And these Bills are a slight road favorite, and the total is set at 49.5. How are you looking to get in?
All right, so like you guys been saying the whole time, I think this is the game of the week. Yeah, I think it's got the most on the line, non-AFC or non-NFC, my bad. I'm going to go with T. Higgins over 68.5. I originally capped this at 64.5 and moved up since
It moved up in 30 minutes after you set your play in, bro.
yeah, so I thought I was legit. I thought I was legitimately getting this under average, and that's what I like to look for. I like to play guys that are going to have beyond average games. So now we got him right on his average. Buffalo, 15th ranked defense in the league. He averages 5 catches a game. I know it's less than some of his counterparts on his team that could take a lot of his action. The Bills are like second in the league in giving up points. I think they only average like 17 points a game they give up. I would really like to get on his fantasy score, but I just don't trust the points, so that's why I went with the yards. He's had 4 games over 100. He averages 68.1. I just think this is the sneaky spot out of the 3 receivers that you're going to have to work with on Prize Pick. Obviously, we got no Boyd yet either, so that was a sharp look, the underneath routes with Boyd.
That's just how I mean, I missed it with Amos St. Brown, and I was mad. Like, dude, he catches the ball 7 yards and just goes, and that's what the Bills want you to do.
Every
But
time
some-
I play Boyd, though, he gets injured. Something
Every-
always happens with it. I love Boyd. He's like one of my favorite fantasy plays in DraftKings for years. Like
One of the things you didn't bring up is Higgins at home, and that's where this game is held at. And this guy goes back to last year and this year again. His yards per catch, his yards per route, everything goes up at home. This guy just plays better at home.
3 out of the 4 games that he went for over 100, all at home. And it's not just 100. It's 140, 130, 125. Like
this
these
is
are
something I
monster
picked up
games.
on, and that's something you got to pay attention to. He performs better at home.
Yep.
Well, my play of the week goes right back to one of the last guys I talked about, and that's Allen Lazard's receiving yards over 47.5. Lazard has a matchup versus the Vikings defense, who is dead last in pass yards allowed and 28th in points allowed, in a spot where the Vikings may sit some people because they're playing for nothing and the Packers are playing for everything. But even if they don't sit people, they still can't stop the pass. And with Watson still not practicing for these Packers, we've got to take a look at Lazard, who has gone up versus 3 bottom 5 pass defenses this year and is 3-0 to the over, seeing no less than 10 targets in those games, averaging 68 yards a game. And in the one game versus a bottom 5 defense in total yards allowed, which what these Vikings are, he went for 4 for 87. So the fact is, when the Packers can run the ball, they're able to hit Lazard deep, and he sees 10 targets even when they are able to run the ball. So we're getting 20 plus yards in a spot where he's hitting at 100%. Yeah, sign me up. Get on it now before it goes up 10 plus yards after they declare Watson out. Well, that's all, folks. This is week 17's The Good, the Bad, and the Money, sponsored by Prize Picks. So if you haven't, go over, use promo code PubSports, and on your first deposit, they will match you up to $100. Big Show, where can they find you and what you got going on Pub Sports Radio this weekend?
Yeah, there's been a giant void in my action, like the UFC being out, the college football all coming down to a close. All the videos are out right now. Go check them. The ones that are still remaining on the bowl games. All the big games are still left. Go Michigan. But you can find me at Big Show Picks on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Go Holland.
Go Holland.
Holland! Almost had that hat trick the other day.
I got him for 2 tomorrow too, so
I play him 1 to 3. I just don't do 2. I'm like, if you score 1 goal, you're gonna get 3. And he should have had 3. He had a 1-on-1 with the goalie and fucking whatever, bro. He should have had 3.
Stay tuned for more football talk from the boys.
Yeah, well, I'm Sharpie's Bets on Pub Sports Radio. You can catch me next on the NFL Pub Zone Sunday morning with me and Big Show. This is where the money resides, and we are gone.
We be pubbing.